Apple finally partners with Nvidia for AI.
Welcome to the All Future podcast, where we talk about all things humanoid robots, AI, Apple products. And today we're talking about, again, AI.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
As it relates to the biggest AI company in the world, I guess you could say. I actually don't know if that's market cap accurate. Probably is. But the biggest player is Nvidia, for
correct,
sure.
yeah. And their new relationship with Apple.
Yeah. So Apple is reportedly going to up their AI game with a $1 billion order of Nvidia servers. Now, I will have to commend this article because I always love a good photo of a CEO. People are experts at doing this with Elon Musk lately. You've probably noticed that, right?
No.
Just the goofiest photo of Elon Musk attached with an article.
It's like him eating a lasagna in
Mhm.
sweatpants or something. It's like, how did you get that photo of him?
Yeah, there was one where I think he had like two forks and a spoon together, and he was like balancing
Oh,
it.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
At the
And
dinner or whatever,
So like
yeah.
attach that to an article where you're criticizing him. It's perfect. So, but yeah. So in any case, great image of Tim Cook right here. But Apple will be partnering with Nvidia, which is pretty big news because it's going to help them build up their cluster, which they appear to desperately need at this point.
Yeah, we've seen other players partner with Nvidia, even if they don't want to fully partner with Nvidia like this. So we've seen Tesla make a huge order of Nvidia GPUs and make the biggest supercomputer in the world that we've seen so far. And they make their own AI chips and they make their own AI computers. So they knew they had to design these things beforehand. They wanted everything to be in house, but they saw the writing on the wall that they were going to need to make more than they can provide. And they had to buy NVIDIA. And so they did that last year. And their full self driving after that turned on got incredibly better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the middle of this, AI Apple intelligence debacle where we actually saw someone. So they've been saying we don't get people just like get outright fired at Apple. Like that's not the Apple way to do things, but we saw them get repurposed and we have a new person in charge of AI.
Oh, yeah.
And this is news that comes right after that announcement. So I think whoever they just put in charge was like, if you want your AI to be better, you need more GPU clusters. And they said yes. And we've finally seen, Apple, now the second biggest company in the world, start bowing the head a little bit to NVIDIA and what they created for themselves.
Yeah. So we are going to talk in this video also about Meta and Facebook and then OpenAI and their new image generator and stuff. But first, this apparently is about 250 servers, which is a pretty wild number because to get to $1 billion, it's about $3.7 to $4 million per server. It's using their next generation Blackwell Ultra chips. So it's all the latest tech here that they're going to be utilizing. And this should help them with their Apple Intelligence Initiative and their so-called LLM Siri, which has been pretty massively delayed at this point. So I would say this is, that all makes sense as part of that shift of moving someone else coming in and going, if you're going to do this, you got to do this. You got to buy this hardware. The safety aspect or the security aspect is always the piece I'm very curious to see how Apple navigates. And then we've talked a while about how it's not going to matter if they're a couple years behind. And it feels like we're really seeing how much they're behind here. And the difference is, though, they promise these things and they're not delivering them. But yeah, are consumers really going to care, like the average consumer buying an iPhone, that it's late if they know that their data is a little more private? We'll have to see about that.
That's really a thing right now because people are using these tools all over the place. And we've mentioned here, don't put your personal information into them. And I've broken that rule for myself on many things where I need a therapist in that moment or need to talk to about I'm doing this on my house or, those are very, vulnerable things that you're telling this AI or whatever, or just chatting about and want good answers to. And so we haven't put in our address or information that we think is very sensitive, social security number. That's the next step with AI agents when you really want these things to do things for you. Credit card number, but right now it doesn't seem like people care. They'd just rather use the tool than care about their privacy. And Apple made a decision there that they needed to figure out privacy, and that might be a thing in the long run, but really, like, we're using these things all over the place, and we haven't really seen anything that crazy happen with them yet. There's no huge data leaks. There's no
Yeah.
huge, anything that we can tangibly, go, oh, well, like this got progressively worse because there was a data leak where this happened. But we could see things like, well, my password's on the internet now. I have this Google alert that says like 8 of my passwords have been compromised after this
Mhm.
Wells Fargo data breach or something. Those are tangible things we could see
Yeah.
get worse. Whereas I don't think we've seen that yet with these AI tools.
For your 8 Wells Fargo passwords
Yeah.
that you have. But no, I'm with you on that but I guess the idea is like maybe it hasn't developed to the point where people are giving it this information yet, so it doesn't even know anything more sensitive. So even if we've had a leak, it hasn't been a worse leak yet, at least. But it is kind of scary. I know what you mean. Like you type something in to GPT and then it says, memory updating, and you're kind of like, oh, it's going to remember that about me. That's a little, it's like, okay, that'll be helpful, but also a little odd. But that's the whole concept of these things.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. And then I had for the first time, like they had updated the memory, and I put something into the chat in like a new chat, and it
Hmm.
came up like independently and go like, oh, it might help you with this other problem that you have. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
whoa, that's a little too personal.
Yeah,
But
exactly. No,
that's kind of
no,
what you
thank you.
want, though. Really, like it might feel uncomfortable to go like, oh, well, you have this other problem. You've had this bad knee for a really long time, like.
Mhm.
And now you're talking about that you have like this symptom. These two symptoms together are now pointing to this other thing that you might be able to do. And as that feels very invasive and like
Mhm.
vulnerable, it also could be pointing you to the right thing,
Yeah.
So it's a weird
Mhm.
trade-off to be getting to like something that might be actually helpful for you.
Yeah, and it's that thing where I guess you can just prompt it in the right way. You can tell it things to exclude, because that does make me think. There are times when I want to research something and I'm actually pointing myself to that conclusion that it would make, or very obviously know, but I just want to fully research out this other possibility. But if I'm going full steam ahead with like both of them at the same time in this chat, it's going to be like, oh, it's obviously this thing. So it feels like in some ways it could maybe harm certain aspects of research, but that's why you're able to just say, hey, don't consider that particular element in this research.
Yeah, it is weird. And then like using LLMs is full of confirmation bias.
Mhm.
If you ask it's like doing a Google search. Like, give me 10 reasons why this is the truth, and it'll give you the 10 reasons,
Mhm.
and it'll tell you all the articles, and then type in the opposite. Now, give me 10 reasons why this is false, and it'll find you the exact opposite of those things
Yeah.
most of the time. So LLMs aren't any different. They'll just, if you're asking about something, it's going to point you in that direction and assume everything about it is true,
Mhm.
even though it might not be true. So
Yeah.
they're not perfect either. They're full of human falsities and things like that. They're not built on the truth.
Mhm. Yeah, last week you asked me how I was doing on this podcast, and I was like, I'm okay. And that's because I thought my cat was at the end of their life. And I was chatting a ton with GPT, and it was super helpful because I had gone to a few vets, the bills were adding up and stuff, and it was just like, I think there's nothing we can do here. But it was able to explain a lot of what they wanted to do to like treat my cat, and it was very helpful, but it did have that confirmation bias of like, I'm kind of leaning that it's this thing. And it seemed very much like it was kind of just reiterating the points I had already in me and just reframing them. But the good news is the cat ended up being fine because of a great vet, and she's now doing great. So I'm very happy about my cat today. But I very much saw the confirmation bias in that situation, and it was like, okay, this was helpful, but you really got to know how these things work. And I think that's maybe Apple's idea with it, is they want to give you things that just work out of the box, and you know teaching people how you have to not trust these things it's just a different skill and a different type of thing that is a little like, some people are like, okay, if I can't trust it 100%, I don't want it at all.
Yeah, it is weird. It's like using a search engine. Search engines, you kind of it's almost like different. You have a bunch of resources in front of you after you search for something. Then you have to like look through and read those resources for the different things, and you might get different answers to different questions, but usually they're right. And usually, if it's just like a yes or no or whatever question, I think I mentioned this on another podcast, but it was like, sofrito. Sofrito is two kinds of things.
Oh,
Sofrito
yeah.
is like a dish in, I think it was South America, and then like a soup base in Italy, which is whatever, carrots, onions, and celery.
hmm
And so I was searching for it, and it was gaslighting me, going like, "That's not even a thing. Like, it's
Yeah.
only this." And it's like, "No, I make this all the time, and I know that's what it is." And then I went to the Google search, and it was like, "Oh, there's two kinds of things." But like, I'm not gonna let this LLM gaslight me, Ryan.
Mhm.
You know?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I've had the same. I've been using it. It's very helpful for troubleshooting issues, but then because you can like dial it into exactly what your thing is, and you don't have to be scanning tons of forums and comments. But you end up with that where it's like do this option, and then it's already written 17 steps for how to troubleshoot, and you're like that option doesn't exist, and it's like, oh really? It should be there, like, and then I like send a screenshot. It's like, no, it's not there, and yeah, it's definitely a back and forth process. Like you have to be like, no, that's not accurate. Quite often, honestly, but I still find it to be useful. And in any case, we're talking about ChatGPT, and they're owned by OpenAI, or that's the product from OpenAI. And this week, we've heard that their revenue is expected to triple to $12.7 billion this year. And I think that's mainly coming just from paid subscriptions and such. And then they also introduced a new image generator, which, funny enough, I was playing with without realizing I was playing with it.
Oh, really?
I was just generating images yesterday,
I
and
think before
just
you had to
tried
use
it.
Dolly, like the specific GPT within the Chat GPT,
hmm
and now it's just directly in the feed that you can use it, and it just got a huge upgrade.
Yeah. So 4.0 image generation, unlocking useful and valuable image generation with a natively multimodal model capable of precise, accurate, photorealistic outputs. I will say it did a very good job with what I generated there. But do you want to just play around with this and see
Yeah,
what we
let's try
can?
to get if it can get us, not like a picture of us, but like um one one bald white man with a beard and a goatee. Or I'm sorry, I have the goatee.
Oh yeah, so you have the
You have the
goatee.
beard. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
getting ahead of myself. Just try to describe us as best you can.
Okay, so bald white man. What was that?
Bald white man
Uh-huh. With red beard, talking on a podcast
to dark haired, dark long haired.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, yeah. Man with a goatee in a multicolored text set. And then just because everyone's been doing this, do it in the style of Studio Ghibli.
Is it
Or-
Ghibli? It's not.
I don't know how to
Ghibli?
pronounce it.
I thought it
You're
was
from-
Ghibli.
Ghibli is. Tell us in the comments. I
Yeah.
don't know. I
What-
have heard of all of these movies, and I love anime stuff. Like I
Mm-hmm.
watched all of Dragon Ball Z and like Attack on Titan and things like that. And I have never watched any of those movies, and I feel like a bad anime fan because of it. But let's see what it comes up with.
Okay, so there's the prompt. It's going to take us. These images, in my experience, they take like maybe a minute.
Yeah,
Maybe a little
they're
more?
not as fast as Midjourney. Midjourney's much faster than this.
Yeah. So it is going here. We can see. I do kind of like the way that it gives you like a little preview of what is
Yeah.
going on under the surface. But let's see. Oh, okay.
Just for everyone at home, I have two image generation softwares that I use all the time. One is called Midjourney, and that's been pretty much the gold standard for these things. Midjourney can create images like very photorealistic, and I've used it for a ton of stuff. It's not good at text though. There's
Mhm.
another thing. This is looking so great, and
This
we're not
is
on
so
it, and I
good.
don't want to put it up.
No, it's
Oh
it's
my
up there.
gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's been up there the whole time
Oh, okay.
generating.
Uh,
This is great.
that's wild.
Can we use this as our new?
Yeah, let's put it as the thumbnail.
That's amazing. Wow. Okay.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. I haven't been impressed by these things in a long time, and you can
Yeah.
see the look on our face that I'm genuinely impressed by that.
I love this photo. This is us, man. Except that does look a little like a non-Mac right there.
Oh
You
yeah, it looks
definitely
like a
got the
Dell. It's
Mac.
got the Dell.
Yeah. But and you got the headphones, but none of this was specific. So it is really good in my experience at going back and iterating on it. In the past, that was like you ask for an iteration and it's just a completely new image.
All right,
In this way, I should be able to say like, I love it, but let's change it just a little
let's
bit.
see what happens when you do that.
Okay, so
That's
I will go
wild.
ahead and say love it, but let's take off the headphones and remove the computer. We'll see. I can't guarantee this is going to work. I had mixed results. Sometimes I would have it like, I'd say, add this text or take away this text, and then it would kind of like, it was a mix of like it's trying to just crop things. And I had some hilarious crops, but yeah, we'll see what this is. It's starting to pull this image in.
I tried it a couple times, but not in the browser. Are we in browser right now, or are we in the app?
This is in the app.
Okay, I was having mixed results with it, and I don't know why. It was saying things to me like, ChatGPT has turned off the image generation software and things like that, and it couldn't really explain to me what was happening. And so, if anyone else is having those bugs, let me know with this because it was generating really great images for me, but it was also gave me a bunch of bugs with it as well.
So this is coming in. I'll scroll up so we can see the previous one. I was having not bugs necessarily, but I went back this morning and tried to ask it to change something about a previous image, and then it basically said like, "Oh, I had a coding error. I can't access that image." But I could see it in the chat. So then I just dragged it down and then it was able to iterate on it.
The other problem too I was having is if I left something in there too long, like the link would break to like an old photo, it wouldn't actually put it in there. It would just give me a link to the photo. Anyways, it's at least a little buggy right now.
But look, I think it's doing exactly what I said. We don't have headphones. The background is still largely the same, but I will say there are like this is different. Right here is different than this. This is brighter. The cabinet's different.
And did it just remove the
And it
computer all
removed
the
the
way?
computer all the way. But you have a different shirt. It's really interesting to
Yeah,
see
little
the
things.
little
It can't
differences.
just like
Yeah.
it can't. It's not like someone photoshopping it. It literally has to recreate it pixel by pixel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, my hand's in the same spot. Microphones are basically the exact same spot. But of course, yeah, that cabinet in the background is different. I'm gonna have fun with this. This is great
This
image
feels like a little
generating.
more user friendly than some of the other ones. Some of the other ones, I will say too that every image generation software AI that you're gonna use has problems with that kind of stuff. Like Midjourney has you can draw a box in something and you can redo the box, but it's still just recreating it pixel by pixel. So like it might not line up with the rest of your image after you recreate it or something. All of these kinds of things have problems. So like really, these are best used in the hands of people who also know how to use Photoshop on top of whatever this is.
Yeah. So I am having issues right here. I put it on there when it was happening, but I had to click retry a couple times because I'm saying now make it photorealistic. No luck so far, and it's just kind of loading.
Yeah, so it's buggy. It's buggy. I don't want to say that this thing is perfect and go out and, like just get rid of your Midjourney account or, and then Midjourney can also create a bunch of variations. I had it crash trying to make variations of something. So I can type into Midjourney, give me 10 variations on this image, and each time it does it, it's 4 of them. So it'll give me 40 versions of something in about 2 minutes.
Wow, yeah.
And
amazing.
I press the button, I go get a cup of coffee, and then I have 40 versions of a Tesla or something. Now, 38 of them are not good. But you get 2 that are incredible, and you can just get those 2 in 4K quality, and then you're good to go. Whereas this, like, typing in variations, you're already running into problems, right? So, like, it's just whatever's going on right now with it. And I imagine everyone and their mom is using this software, too, so it'd be hard on, like, a stress on the system. and it's free, which doesn't help. I think it's only available with the paid version, but still, like on something like Midjourney, you have to buy credits, and you're using credits up every month,
Hmm.
and so it does run out because some people try to use it as an API and create it through apps or things like that, like actually try to make money off their individual pictures being made. So,
Hmm.
um, but this is really cool.
Yeah. Now I'm
Oh wow!
generating
Oh
a
gosh,
photorealistic one.
that looks crazy.
Also, like, am I that stereotypical? I guess I am. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
I guess you are too, Andrew.
Maybe.
Man, look at that. Wow. Uh,
It's
okay.
our exact doubles.
Can we?
And look at this
Oh,
stupid little. Are we arm wrestling? What's going on in Hand
no.
World?
I don't know. That's pretty good, though. It's got the outfits down, too. I am kind of just like the t shirt guy. You're the, button shirt, sometimes unbuttoned with the t shirt
And it has
underneath.
the techie, whatever
Hmm.
light bars in the back.
Yeah, this is really
That's pretty
good.
crazy. That does look photorealistic though. Like I may not think that's like a real image, but it's like a stylized version of a real image.
Yeah, it's very good. So maybe I can do another one, but we can start talking about other things while I generate something else, I
Yeah,
guess.
sure. Let's talk about Facebook and how they're actually trying to change Facebook into being a better app again. So I think everyone's responding to Facebook being, just like overwhelming. I feel like most of my Facebook is like, things from groups or just memes now. And then I never am actually seeing things of my friends and things of my family. So I think they just reintroduced a friends and family tab so you could just see the closest people to you that you want to see on there. I want to see pictures of my sister's kids. I want to see these things. I remember when it was just those things. It's basically like anyone you knew at school was the only people who were your friends on Facebook. It wasn't this tool for business. It wasn't this tool for advertising. It wasn't this thing that you like tried to get entertained on. It was literally just seeing what your friends were up to. And so I think this is really cool. I think this will hopefully try to like get a younger audience on Facebook again to who really are in it for only that. They don't want to be sold things. They don't want to be entertained on the app. They have TikTok. Like, what is
Hmm.
actually separating Facebook from something else?
Yeah.
It's where your grandma knows how to use it or whatever,
Hmm.
So get Facebook friends and family. Try it out. I will be trying it out and just see, if I really enjoy looking at those feeds more than I look at other stuff.
Yeah. So it says Meta promises to introduce other classic Facebook features throughout the year. That's interesting because I mean I haven't used Facebook. I actually like purposely got off of Facebook with after like so much data and stuff. I just freaked out about the whole thing. But I stayed on Instagram, so I was well aware that I was not at
Yeah.
all leaving the ecosystem. But it's been crazy because I'm like, oh yeah, Facebook still exists. And yeah, now it's getting to this point where they're going back to go, okay, let's give people what they actually loved about Facebook now that we've integrated everything. I think it actually might, yeah, it might be good because you have all these platforms like Instagram that are and TikTok that are you're you follow your friends, but you don't exactly actually consume your friends' stuff on there. And it's almost to the point where you're like, do I need to follow my friends on this? Is that what I'm here for? You know?
Yeah, definitely. And you want to be. I want to know what's going on in my friends' lives, but I feel like that happens relatively quickly in like, maybe 5 minutes of looking through stories. Like you're caught up with your friends. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
your friends are in stories, and then your feed is just starting to become like TikTok at this point. Like here's videos we think you will enjoy. You're not even subscribed to these people, but it's got good engagement. And I think it's just like anything. They're just trying to increase time on the app and or get people to sign up. And this might be a way to re-engage users who maybe said like I don't like Facebook for these reasons. I can't talk to my friends anymore. I haven't been seeing these things. So it's just to answer complaints. And it's just a feature. You don't have to use it, but maybe it 5% of users go back because these things, they have a feature that does this.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be cool to see if you even have Facebook or know what Facebook is anymore, go check this out, try it out, tell us what you think.
Yeah. So I'm prompting one other thing on GPT. We'll see how it turns out. I did person on park bench using an iPhone to film a vlog. Cloudy day. Person is bald with red beard and happy. So in theory, this would be me filming a vlog. Uh, The photorealism's kind of wild. This is really coming along. Wow.
Wow.
Look at that.
Where's his arm?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, decent job there.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby. He looks very happy, I
It
will
looks
say.
like that Tim Cook
Mhm.
candid.
This is really good. So, the future of AI is actually kind of scary.
I do think that they're look like product photos. Like I
Mhm.
don't, do we need product photos anymore if we have this? Are these things going to be good enough or
Yeah.
good enough to just put on a website? Like stock photos are kind of dead in this world.
Mhm.
Even though we probably trained AI on all those stock photos,
I
but
think specifically they did, right? Because
yeah,
like Shutterstock has deals with all these
yes,
companies. So in theory, if you're a contributor to Shutterstock, you got a little cut, but nowhere near the cut that it would, I don't know, be worth it. It seems.
definitely not. The music industry themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They stepped on the digital landmine that we all did when we signed up for. Well, yeah, we had Napster and we were making $0, and we decided streaming services were going to be better, and
Mm-hmm.
so we gave up $0 for $0.0016 per listen.
Yeah, it's a great industry. But in any case, the future is both bright and dark. I don't know. It's utopian and dystopian for AI. There's a lot going on. OpenAI, Facebook, Meta, and Apple partnering with Nvidia. We'll see what they can get done because people are very upset that they're very behind because Apple tends to not make big promises unless they can keep them. We know there's plenty of examples of them like delaying a feature, but it's usually like the extra feature they showed off at a keynote, not like the flagship feature they
Yeah,
showed off. And this time that is definitely behind.
they have a class action lawsuit now against them for marketing Apple Intelligence so much,
Hmm.
and I think it is one of the first times we've seen in a long time that an entire year goes by. We're going to see another WWDC, and they did not deliver like the meat and potatoes thing that they said they were going to deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are going to see another WWDC. It's coming up. I think we're going to make another video specifically about that event. But in the meantime, at least we have Genmoji.